Hey, I just got back from a Pilates class. So good. It feels so good to get an hour of exercise in. It really does. It's a blessing, really. Um, I wanted to share something. Yesterday, I went to a yoga class, and in the beginning of the class, we had what we called a mindful walk, a meditation walk, so to speak. So we walked with our eyes open, but we kind of were looking down and we kind of purposefully took each step. And I noticed that, I was remembering that we used to do that in theater. We'd have classes where we would walk like that, or do scene work where we're just kind of a bunch of people from the scene and we're just walking around and stuff. And honestly, it made me realize that all the movement classes I took in college for theater, all the tableau stuff, all the like movement and tableau and Suzuki method and all that stuff, it wasn't just the discipline, it was a way of regulating myself, of being okay with just being in the be, taking things slower, moving slower, being meditative. And I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that that's what I was learning in college. And at the same time, because I had to do 12 units for financial aid back in the 90s, that's how it was, I would take some kinesiology classes, exercise classes. And that's when I first discovered yoga in the late 90s. And I was just thinking recently about a story. I've been telling people this, and I may have put this in a TikTok, but I don't remember. As a young kid, somewhere between 10 and maybe 13, 14, kind of teenage years almost, I remember in the house I grew up, there's all these stairs coming down, but then before you get to the last 3 or 4 stairs, the fourth stair was like a big square. And I used to lay with my legs on the wall. And I had never taken yoga at that point. But there was something in me that knew that that was good for my body. So what is the point of these stories? Well, I think my body and mind realized the things I needed and didn't know that I had ADHD. I think in college, I probably knew that I was a person that's stressed out a lot more than others, or I felt like I had a home life that was a little chaotic, or everybody was very stressful people. But now that I'm looking back, I just, and I still deal with this. I had a great class, but the more I talk, I just get tight in the throat. And it's interesting to me how excitement and anxiety are like sisters or cousins or whatever you want to call them. So, yeah, I have this thing where motivation ties up to anxiety, and then I try to take, my Prozac to calm myself down with the serotonin, and next thing I know, I'm very lethargic, so there's how to keep the balance. But anyways, the point I was making is I had an awakening in college taking theater classes because I never really became an actress. I loved doing the behind the scenes stuff for connecting with community, but movement classes got me to be meditative and feel accepted more, and it was kind of just about being without judgment, and that was a beautiful thing. So maybe I don't really use my theater degree these days, but I think it helped me learn how to interact with people and socialize and start getting the first inklings of how to find comfort in your own body and yourself. So yeah, the purposeful walk. And another thing I noticed is that sometimes I'll do the purposeful walk and then all of a sudden, lose a little balance. So even at this age of 48, I'm wondering, what's that about? Is there something in my body that's just concerning about the structure or the balance or the alignment? And I just easily, that's probably why when I was younger, I would my foot easily would go in and I would always sprain an ankle here and there. I have a story of even one time being at my I'm half Greek, so I would go to the Greek festival in the city. And I remember one time I was dancing and like I think I sprained my ankle real easily because it just went, and the next thing I know it was sprained. I have another story where like I'm going to some of my Greek friends when we were all in the same Greek dance group. We went over to their house and they had stairs going to their garage, and I was fine until the last 3-4 stairs, and boom, boom, boom. So that's fun. And I know my daughter like falls and hits herself a lot, so she's in for that for herself, the poor thing. I don't know. I don't think I was ever assessed for sensory processing or body mechanics or things like that. And I know like months ago, because I watch a lot of these videos, I know people think I'm like losing it. But there was one about a chiropractor who showed a trick on how to test for the Moro reflex. And my husband did it for me, and I did the startle, the startle reflex. And I still have that. So I think that's interesting. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I reflected on how college was kind of my gateway to finding something that worked for me meditatively. Walking meditation, movement in the body works for me versus like lying down or doing a body scan. Yoga, qigong, Pilates is great. So I'm just trying to keep on that. And thank you to the San Francisco Theater Department. San Francisco State, that's where I went to school. Class of 2001, because it took me a long time to finish. I started in 94 and graduated in 2001. Ooh. Although I came back actually in 2002 to do the stage graduation. Anyways, yeah, I'm old. I'm an old lady. I should have probably graduated way before 2001. But it's about the experience, and I learned a lot, and I still think I learned a lot with where the school I work at with the kids and stuff. And it's been great because we just started, and a lot of the kids that I helped, because the first year I worked at the school I worked at, I helped first graders, and now I work with just third graders. But those first graders 2 years ago are now third graders, so I see a lot of them and they remember me, which is really sweet. So nice. So when you reflect back and you remember things that you learned that weren't quite about, like, they may not have been about whether you became an actor or whether you went into dance or other arts, but how art, movement, and finding things like yoga and walking meditation at school helped you as a person find inner peace, inner connection. And I'm still working on that every day. It gets harder when you've got kids and crazy life and you can't always make the drop of the hat decisions every time. Yeah. Find the things that bring you joy, and when you find them, don't let go of them. We may let go of them when we get older and forget them, but hopefully they come back. So I will stick with dance. I will stick with yoga. I will stick with Pilates and the things that make my body feel better and more relaxed. Because it's a hard world out there. And we want to change it. We want better things to happen. We want freedom for all, equality for all, joy for all. We want everyone to be able to take a breath in and out. And we have to learn from our mistakes and stop doing the same thing in history over and over again. So my friends, take those moments to rejuvenate yourself. But don't forget to fight against what's wrong and speak for the truth every day of your lives.